Are you ready? Right now, at this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to struggle, limitation, and frustration. The other to expansion, power, and true freedom. The real question isn't if you want change. It's whether you're bold enough to command it. In the next few minutes, we're going to expose a shocking truth. You are living inside a simulation, a matrix, a coded reality. But here's the twist. It's no fiction. It's the reality you've been living all along. Neville Goddard, a spiritual pioneer, revealed long ago that the world you see is a living mirror of your inner state, constantly reflecting your deepest assumptions and beliefs. Your consciousness is the source of it all. Sound mystical? Let's ground it in today's world. We're surrounded by virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and digital universes like the metaverse. We're literally building simulated worlds where people live, work, and connect. Suddenly, the idea that this reality might be a simulation, not so far-fetched anymore. And if you've ever felt that eerie flicker, like déjà vu, where a moment feels strangely familiar, or had a random thought about someone, and they called you seconds later, those are clues, little glitches in the matrix, hinting that reality is far more fluid than we've been taught to believe. So, what now? How do you step out of autopilot and take control of this simulation? Neville Goddard's work gives us 3 powerful keys. First, wake up. Learn to recognize the hidden code that's shaping your experience. Second, reprogram. Spot the old beliefs and patterns that have kept you stuck and rewrite them. Third, live from victory. Embody the reality you want as if it's already yours, because in truth, it is. This isn't hype. It's a call to action. The tools exist. The knowledge is here. Now the power is in your hands. Are you ready to crack the code and transform your world from the inside out? Part 1. Seeing the Code, Neville Goddard and the Truth About Simulation. Let's slow down and look closer. If you're serious about breaking free from the simulation, you need to understand how it's built, and more importantly, who's really in control. Let me introduce you to the man who cracked the code, long before words like matrix, VR, or artificial intelligence were even part of everyday language. His name? Neville Goddard. Neville wasn't just a spiritual teacher, he was a mystic, a pioneer, a man who saw beyond the physical world and decoded a truth so profound it shook the foundations of reality itself. His message? Clear and powerful. Consciousness is the only reality. Take a moment with that. Everything you experience, your relationships, your bank account, your health, your wins, your losses, is not happening to you by accident. It's a direct reflection of your inner world. What you believe, what you expect, what you feel, those are the hidden codes that shape your life. Neville loved to use this metaphor. Imagine your mind as a projector. It's constantly casting your inner thoughts, assumptions, and feelings onto the movie screen of life. Whatever film you load, whether it's fear or faith, scarcity or abundance, that's the movie you end up watching. And here's the kicker. Most of us are running the same movie over and over again. Why? Because we don't realize we have the power to change the film. Let's make this real with a story. Meet Sarah. Sarah was an artist with a fire in her soul. She painted every day, poured her heart into every brushstroke. But no matter how passionate she was, the world just didn't seem to care. Her paintings sat in her tiny studio, gathering dust. Gallery owners politely declined. Friends and family said things like, "It's a nice hobby, but it's not a career." Sarah was stuck, frustrated, invisible, and worst of all, deep down, She started to believe that voice in her head that whispered, "Maybe I'm just not good enough." Then one night, scrolling on her phone, she stumbled onto a video, Neville Goddard talking about consciousness and reality. One sentence hit her like a lightning bolt. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. That idea spun in her mind for days. Sarah realized something powerful. She had been working hard on her art, but inside she was filled with doubt, fear, and insecurity. And if Neville was right, that was the real reason her art wasn't succeeding. So she decided to test it. Every night before bed, Sarah began a simple practice. She would close her eyes and step into the version of her life she wanted most. She imagined standing in the center of a bright, buzzing art gallery. She visualized her paintings beautifully framed and displayed on the walls. She could hear the quiet murmur of people discussing her work, feel the handshake of a collector buying her art, and most importantly, she felt the pride, the joy, the success, as if it were real. She didn't just wish for success, she lived it in her imagination. And here's where it gets wild. In just a few months, Sarah was offered her first solo exhibition. Not only did her work finally hang in a gallery, it completely sold out. Every single piece. Sarah didn't just get lucky, she hacked her simulation by rewriting her inner code. This is the essence of Neville's message. If you want to change your outer world, you must first change your inner world. Let's pause here. Think about a mirror. If you stand in front of it and don't like your reflection, do you reach out and try to smudge the glass? No. You adjust yourself, and instantly the reflection changes. Life works the exact same way. But here's where it gets even deeper and more fascinating. Neville's teachings, once seen as mystical, are now being echoed by the cutting edge of modern science. Enter quantum physics. One of the strangest and most profound discoveries in quantum mechanics is the observer effect. In simple terms, scientists discovered that particles, the tiniest building blocks of matter, behave differently when they are observed. Left alone, they exist in a fuzzy cloud of possibilities. But the moment someone watches them, they collapse into a single, definite reality. Pause and let that sink in. The simple act of observing doesn't just witness reality, it molds it into form. It's mind-bending, and yet it's exactly what Neville was teaching all along. He said that focused attention, your conscious awareness, is the creative force that shapes your world. We're living in an incredible time where spirituality and science are starting to meet in the middle. Look around, we're building simulated realities right now. Virtual reality headsets, artificial intelligence, the metaverse, digital universes where people are already living, working, and building entire lives. So ask yourself this: if humans can create simulations inside simulations, what does that say about the world we're living in right now? Could it be that what you see as real life is actually a matrix, an interactive program shaped by your deepest beliefs and expectations? Here's a little challenge for you right now. Pause and reflect. When was the last time you knew something was going to happen before it did? Maybe you had a strong gut feeling or thought of someone out of the blue, and moments later they called or texted. We often dismiss these moments as weird coincidences. But are they? Or are they tiny cracks in the simulation, hints that your consciousness is already deeply intertwined with the fabric of reality? Neville's core idea is simple, but revolutionary. You are not just a player in the game. You are the programmer, the dreamer, the coder. And once you recognize that power, everything starts to shift. This is not about magical thinking or blind faith. It's about waking up, really waking up to your true nature as a creator. Your beliefs, your thoughts, your assumptions, these are the building blocks of your reality. Neville said it best. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Think of it like this. Every day you are running a mental operating system. Most of it is unconscious. Old beliefs, old programming, stories you've picked up from family, school, society. And unless you stop and examine that code, it keeps running on autopilot, projecting the same old patterns into your life again and again. But the moment you become aware, the moment you see the code, you unlock the power to change it. And that's when the magic happens. In the next sections, we'll dive deep into how to spot your limiting beliefs, and more importantly, how to rewrite them. But for now, just hold on to this truth. Your outer world is a printout of your inner world. Your reality is not fixed. It's fluid, flexible, and waiting for you to shape it. If you don't like the movie playing on your life screen, it's time to load a new film. It's time to rewrite the code. Part 2. Decoding the programming, limiting beliefs, and the invisible game. Now that we've seen how reality is shaped by consciousness, it's time to ask the next big question. If we have the power to create any reality we want, why do so many of us stay stuck? The answer comes down to one thing: programming. From the moment you were born, you began absorbing beliefs like a sponge. Your parents, teachers, friends, and society all handed you pieces of code, and without realizing it, you started running those programs on autopilot. Some of them were helpful: be kind, work hard, treat others with respect. But others? Not so helpful. Maybe you heard things like, money doesn't grow on trees. Don't dream too big. People like us never get ahead. These little phrases, harmless on the surface, are actually lines of code that embed themselves deep in your subconscious. And the more you hear them, the more they solidify into your reality. Let's go back to our earlier example, Sarah, the artist. Growing up, she loved to draw and paint, but every time she shared her work, someone would say, "That's cute, but you can't make a living doing art." Over time, that simple sentence became a core belief, a piece of programming that told her art can never be a real career. So even though Sarah worked hard, her inner world was still running that old code, and her results stayed the same: rejection, frustration, disappointment. This is how limiting beliefs work. And here's the tricky part. Most of the time, we don't even realize these beliefs are there. They run quietly, in the background, like invisible scripts, shaping every choice we make and every experience we have. I like to think of these beliefs as mental malware, just like a virus that infects your computer and slows it down, or worse, completely blocks certain functions. Limiting beliefs clog up your mental operating system. They hijack your potential, corrupt your clarity, and keep you stuck in frustrating loops. Let's break this down. Say you want to improve your finances. You start reading books, attending seminars, even working extra hours. But deep down, you've absorbed a belief like, "I'm just not good with money." No matter how hard you try, that belief, your mental malware, keeps rerouting your progress. You might find yourself sabotaging opportunities, overspending, or attracting unexpected expenses. It feels like you're cursed, but really, it's the code you're running. Or maybe you want love. You put yourself out there, go on dates, but inside you hold a belief like, "I'm not lovable," or "all the good ones are taken." Guess what? That code shapes your experiences, attracting partners who prove that belief right again and again. Here's a powerful case study to bring this to life. Meet Daniel. Daniel grew up in a working-class family where money was always tight. His parents worked multiple jobs, but never seemed to get ahead. Over the years, Daniel heard the same phrases on repeat. "We can't afford that." "Rich people are greedy." "Money is hard to come by." By the time he was an adult, Daniel had internalized a scarcity mindset. Even when he landed a good job, he constantly felt broke, anxious about money, and afraid to invest in himself. One day, Daniel attended a workshop about wealth consciousness. The speaker shared something that hit him hard. Your financial ceiling is set by your beliefs, not your paycheck. That was Daniel's wake-up call. He realized his financial struggles weren't just about external circumstances, they were a reflection of his inner programming. Determined to change, he started a daily practice. He wrote down every limiting belief he had about money. Then, he created new affirmations to replace them. For example, "Money is hard to come by" became "Money flows to me easily and consistently." At first, it felt fake, but over time something shifted. Daniel noticed new opportunities showing up, unexpected bonuses, side projects, better financial decisions. Within a year, his savings tripled, and more importantly, his entire relationship with money transformed. Daniel's story proves, when you change the code, you change the game. So let's make this practical for you. I want you to try something right now. Grab a notebook, or even just your phone, close your eyes and ask yourself, what beliefs do I have about money, success, love, or health? That might be holding me back. Be brutally honest. Write down 3 limiting beliefs that come to mind. Don't overthink it. Just let them flow. It might be something like, "I always mess things up." "Good things never last." "I'm not lucky in love." "I'm too old to start over." Whatever it is, write it down. This simple act, bringing your hidden beliefs into the light, is the first step to breaking their power. Because here's the truth, you can't change what you're not aware of. Awareness is key. Once you see the code, you can start to rewrite it. You can upgrade your mental operating system, clean out the malware, and replace it with programs that actually serve you. And let me be clear, this isn't about positive thinking or slapping happy stickers over deep wounds. It's about deep reprogramming, about challenging those old scripts and choosing new beliefs that align with the reality you want to create. Neville Goddard said, "Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness." In other words, your beliefs are the cause. Your reality is the effect. And the beautiful thing, you're not stuck with the old code. You have the power, right now, to install new programming. So as we move forward, keep this in mind. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every assumption you make, is shaping your world in real time. The question is, are you running code that keeps you small, or code that sets you free? In the next part, we'll explore one of the most powerful tools to reprogram your consciousness: silence. A way to clear the noise, reset your system, and access your deepest creative power. But for now, take that notebook and keep digging. The more hidden beliefs you uncover, the more keys you'll have to unlock the next level of your simulation. Your reality is waiting. Part 3. The Secret Weapon, Meditation and the Power of Stillness. We've talked about seeing the code. We've explored how beliefs act as hidden programs shaping your world. But now, it's time to introduce the most powerful tool you have for breaking free from the simulation. And that tool is silence. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but don't be fooled. Meditation, the art of stillness, isn't just a relaxation technique. It's a weapon, a master key, a direct portal into your deepest creative power. Why? Because when your mind is racing, full of noise, stress, and endless to-do lists, you're trapped in the surface level of reality. You're like a character in a video game, reacting to everything around you, without ever realizing you're the one holding the controller. But when you pause, when you get still, you shift levels. You move from player to creator. Neville Goddard understood this deeply. He taught that quieting the mind is essential if you want to unlock the power of consciousness. Because only in stillness can you access the source code and start rewriting reality itself. Let's use a simple image. Picture a pond. When the water is choppy and full of ripples, you can't see what's beneath the surface. Everything is blurry, distorted. But when the water becomes perfectly still, suddenly you can see all the way to the bottom. Clear, precise, true. Your mind works the same way. When your thoughts are turbulent, you're blind to your deeper self. But when you cultivate stillness, the truth becomes visible. So how do we access that stillness? Here's a simple but powerful meditation practice you can start with right now. Step 1. Sit comfortably. No need to twist yourself into a pretzel. Just sit upright, feet flat on the floor, hands resting gently in your lap. Step 2. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel your belly expand. Hold it for a moment. Now slowly exhale through your mouth, feeling your body soften. Step 3. As you breathe, imagine a warm golden light filling your body with each inhale. This light is calming, healing, and grounding. With every exhale, imagine any tension or stress leaving your body, flowing out like dark mist. Step 4. Simply observe your breath. Don't force it. Don't try to control it. Just notice the air moving in and out. Thoughts may come up, and that's okay. When they do, gently bring your focus back to your breath, like guiding a puppy back to its bed. Do this for just a few minutes. You'll notice something shifts. The noise begins to fade. Space opens up. A sense of calm, clarity, and power begins to rise from deep within you. That's not just your imagination. That's your true self coming online. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the science behind this. Your brain operates at different frequencies, called brainwaves. Think of them like channels on a radio, each one tuned to a different state of consciousness. Beta waves, 13 to 30 Hertz. This is your normal waking state, alert, thinking, analyzing. Alpha waves, 8 to 12 Hertz. A relaxed, calm state, like when you're daydreaming or gently focused. Theta waves, 4 to 7 Hertz. A deep meditative state, linked to creativity, intuition, and subconscious access. Delta waves, 0.5 to 3 Hertz. The slowest waves, deep sleep, profound healing, pure stillness. When you're stuck in stress or anxiety, your brain is locked in high beta mode. You're overthinking, overstimulated, and disconnected from your inner wisdom. But when you meditate, you shift down, first into alpha, then theta, and sometimes even delta. These deeper states allow your mind to rewire, reset, and regenerate. It's like upgrading from an old dial-up connection to high-speed fiber optic. And here's where it gets fascinating. Research shows that when you hit the theta state, your brain becomes highly suggestible. This is where deep programming takes place, where you can literally install new beliefs and dissolve old ones. Neville knew this intuitively. That's why his techniques often involved meditating or visualizing right before sleep, when your brain naturally dips into theta waves. In other words, stillness isn't just restful, it's transformational. Now I know what you might be thinking. That sounds great, but I'm busy. My mind never shuts up. How do I actually make this work? First, know that's completely normal. The mind is like a wild horse. It takes patience and practice to train, and even seasoned meditators face days when the mind resists stillness. But here's a simple trick I want to share with you, a 60-second reset. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, anxious, or disconnected during the day, stop for just 1 minute. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath and silently say to yourself, I am here. I am present. I am safe. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your breath move in and out, just for 60 seconds. This micro reset may seem small, but it's incredibly powerful. It's like hitting the refresh button on your mental browser. A moment of clarity in the chaos. And remember that image we talked about earlier, of your mind as a projector. Let's add one more layer. Think of your mind like a software program. Over the years, you've downloaded tons of files, beliefs, habits, fears. Some of them are helpful. Others, full of bugs. Meditation is like running a debugger. It scans your system, identifies glitches, and clears out the junk that's slowing you down. No wonder so many of the world's top performers, whether in business, sports, or the arts, swear by meditation. They understand. If you want to master the external world, you have to master your internal world first. Neville often said that your state of consciousness is the gateway to everything you desire. When you're aligned, when your inner world is clear and focused, your outer world naturally begins to shift. So here's your invitation. Today, set aside just 5 minutes to practice stillness. Start small, build the habit. Over time, you'll notice profound changes, not just in how you feel, but in the opportunities, synchronicities, and breakthroughs that begin to appear. Because remember, silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. In the next section, we'll dive even deeper, exploring a technique that allows you to rewrite your personal history and remove old blocks at their source. But for now, breathe, be still, and know you hold the power to reset, recode, and recreate your reality anytime you choose. Part 4. Revision. Rewriting the past, debugging the simulation. Up until now, we've explored how your thoughts and beliefs shape your reality. We've looked at meditation as a way to reset your system and clear your mental clutter. But now, it's time to bring out one of the most transformative techniques Neville Goddard ever taught. It's called revision. Imagine this: you're watching your favorite movie, but there's one scene you absolutely hate. Maybe it's a moment where the main character makes a huge mistake and everything falls apart. What do? If you had the power, you'd grab the remote, hit rewind, and film that scene again, this time the way you wanted it to happen. Well, revision is exactly that, but for your real life. Here's the key idea. Your past only exists in your memory, and your memory is part of your consciousness. If consciousness creates reality, then by changing your memory, you are literally rewriting the code of your simulation. Let's break it down with a classic example. Say you went for a job interview, you were nervous, your answers came out wrong, and afterward you kept replaying the scene in your mind, cringing, feeling like a failure. Sound familiar? Here's how revision works. Step 1. Close your eyes, get still. Step 2. Replay that interview in your mind, but this time, change it. Imagine walking in with confidence. Hear your voice, calm and clear. Feel the energy in the room shift as you connect with the interviewer. Visualize shaking hands at the end, knowing you nailed it. Feel the satisfaction and pride as if it really happened. It might seem like you're just daydreaming, but you're doing something much deeper. You're rewiring your mind. You're editing the code of that memory, changing the emotional charge it holds. And because your outer world mirrors your inner state, this shift can ripple out in unexpected ways. People who practice revision often find that similar future events, like the next job interview, play out more smoothly. Why? Because the glitch in their system has been debugged. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. For decades, skeptics brushed aside techniques like revision as wishful thinking. But today, neuroscience is catching up. Let's talk about a breakthrough discovery called memory reconsolidation. For a long time, scientists believed that once a memory was formed, it was fixed, like a file stored on a hard drive. But new research has shown something amazing. Every time you recall a memory, that memory becomes unstable and flexible for a short period. Think of it like opening a document on your computer. While it's open, you can edit it, add new information, delete parts you don't like, and when you save it again, the new version overwrites the old one. That's exactly what happens in your brain. When you bring up a memory, especially one charged with emotion, you have a window of time where you can actually reshape it. This is called memory reconsolidation. Once the memory is saved again, the new version feels just as real, and your subconscious responds to the updated code. This is why Neville's revision technique is so powerful. It's not just spiritual, it's biological. Let's look at another example, this time about health. Meet Lisa. Lisa had struggled for months with chronic shoulder pain after an accident. She'd done physical therapy, massage, even acupuncture, but nothing seemed to fully heal it. Then she heard about revision. She realized that after the injury, she had replayed the moment of the accident over and over, each time reinforcing the trauma in her body and mind. So Lisa decided to try something different. Every night she sat quietly, closed her eyes, and revised the moment of the accident. Instead of seeing herself falling and getting hurt, she imagined herself moving gracefully, safely. She visualized her body staying strong and whole. She infused the scene with feelings of relief, gratitude, and strength. At first it felt strange, but after a few weeks something shifted. Lisa noticed her pain beginning to ease. Her body felt lighter, her range of motion improved, and most importantly, her fear around the injury started to dissolve. Was it magic? Not at all. It was the raw power of mind-body science at work. You see, your body and your mind are deeply connected. Traumatic memories don't just live in your brain, they live in your cells. By revising the memory, Lisa was sending new signals of safety and healing to her nervous system, and her body responded. Revision isn't just for big, life-altering moments. You can use it for small things too. A fight with a friend, a stressful commute, even a bad day at work. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. So here's your challenge. Tonight, before you go to bed, pick one small event from today that didn't go the way you wanted. Maybe you spilled coffee on your shirt. Maybe someone was rude to you. Maybe you doubted yourself. Close your eyes. Replay that scene, but rewrite it. See yourself catching the coffee cup just in time. Imagine the rude person smiling instead. Visualize yourself handling the moment with confidence and grace. Feel the difference in your body, really sink into it, and then let it go. Trust that the code has been updated. I challenge you to do this for 7 nights in a row. And keep a journal. Track any shifts you notice, big or small. You might be surprised how quickly your reality begins to reflect your inner revisions. Neville said, Leave the world just as it is and change your concept of yourself. Do not try to change people. They are only messengers telling you who you are. In other words, the outer world doesn't need fixing. Your inner world does. When you change that, the outer world follows, naturally, effortlessly. Let's recap the key points here. Your past is not fixed. It's a living, breathing part of your consciousness. Every time you recall a memory, you have a window to reshape it. Revision allows you to change not just how you feel about the past, but how your mind and body respond to it. Neuroscience backs this up through the discovery of memory reconsolidation. You can apply revision to anything: career, health, relationships, or everyday annoyances. And the best part? It's simple. No tools, no expensive courses. Just you, your mind, and your commitment to healing and growing. So tonight, no excuses. Pick one moment, revise it, feel it, and start experiencing the power of rewriting your simulation, because when you change your past, you unlock a whole new future. Part 5. Living in the End, Taking Simulation, Hacking to the Next Level. By now, you understand the core mechanics of this simulation. Your consciousness is the driver. Your beliefs and feelings shape your world, and your inner state determines what appears on the screen of your life. We've explored how to debug the system with meditation and how to rewrite old code through revision. But there's one more technique that ties it all together, a method that Neville Goddard believed was the most powerful tool of all. It's called living in the end. So what does that mean? At its core, living in the end is about fully embodying the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Not wishing, not hoping, but stepping into the reality where your goal is already complete and living from that state of mind. It's not about forcing or chasing, it's about being. Let's say you want to build a successful business. Instead of constantly worrying about how it will happen, living in the end means imagining yourself as the person who's already built that business. You feel the pride, the freedom, the satisfaction, as if it's real right now. Why is this so powerful? Because emotion is the key that unlocks manifestation. Neville taught that your subconscious mind, the true engine of creation, doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to feelings. It's not enough to say, "I want success," or "I am abundant," if underneath you're vibrating with doubt and lack. You have to feel it to create it. This is why living in the end works. It bypasses the mental noise and speaks directly to the subconscious through emotionally charged imagination. Neville put it like this: assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and continue feeling that it is fulfilled until that which you feel objectifies itself. In other words, feel it until it becomes real. Let's dive deeper. Imagine you're longing for a loving relationship. Instead of visualizing your perfect partner and wondering when they'll show up, living in the end means stepping into the feeling of already being in that relationship. You feel loved, cherished, connected. You carry yourself like someone who's secure and fulfilled in love. And guess what? When you do that, your outer reality begins to rearrange to match your inner state. It's like tuning a radio. When you set the dial to a specific frequency, you pick up the station that matches it. Your feelings are that dial. But here's where many people get stuck. They think visualizing is enough. It's not. Visualization is powerful, but without emotion, it's just a mental picture. The real magic happens when you infuse that picture with rich, deep feelings. And this is where I want to introduce a next-level technique called sensory stacking. What is sensory stacking? It's the practice of layering multiple senses, sight, sound, touch, smell, and even taste, into your imagination. The more senses you engage, the more real your vision feels to your subconscious. Let's try an example. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're on your dream vacation, walking along a pristine beach. Start with the visuals. You see the golden sunlight dancing on the waves, the endless blue sky above you, the shimmer of wet sand beneath your feet. Now add sound. Hear the soothing crash of waves, the distant call of seagulls, the soft whisper of the breeze through palm trees. Next, bring in touch. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the cool splash of water on your ankles, the soft grit of sand between your toes. Now add smell, the salty air, the faint scent of sunscreen and tropical flowers. And finally, if you want, add taste. Imagine sipping a fresh coconut, cool, sweet, and refreshing. Can you feel how much more alive that scene becomes when you engage all your senses? That's sensory stacking in action. And here's why it works. Your subconscious can't distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. The richer the sensory detail, the faster it locks it in and moves you toward that new reality. Neville was ahead of his time in understanding this. He emphasized not just seeing, but feeling, hearing, touching the scene you want to create. His goal was always to make the imagined experience as real as possible. Now let's ground this with a powerful affirmation. When you finish a Living in the End session, whether it's about business success, love, health, or any goal, it helps to anchor that state with a clear, strong statement. Here's one you can use or customize. I am now living my ideal life, fully and completely. I feel it. I know it. It is done. The key is to say it with conviction, not as a wish, but as a declaration of fact. Write it down, say it out loud, let it sink into your bones. The more you repeat it, especially right after a vivid sensory-stacked session, the deeper it impresses on your subconscious. Remember, your outer world mirrors your inner world, and your inner world responds most powerfully to feeling. So here's your practice for this week. Step 1. Choose one goal or desire you want to manifest. Step 2. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes each day to practice living in the end. Close your eyes and immerse yourself fully in the scene of your desire fulfilled, stacking as many senses as possible. Step 3. After each session, repeat your affirmation with deep conviction. Track how you feel. Notice any subtle shifts, not just in your outer world, but in your sense of confidence and clarity. Because here's the beautiful truth. Living in the end isn't just about manifesting stuff. It's about becoming the version of you who already has it all. And when you fully embody that version, mentally, emotionally, energetically, the simulation has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Neville put it perfectly. Your assumption, to be effective, cannot be a single isolated act. It must be a maintained attitude of the wish fulfilled. In other words, don't just dip into this state for a few minutes and then go back to doubt and worry. Keep the feeling alive. Make it your new normal. That's how you shift from being a passive participant to a conscious creator. So today, ask yourself, what reality do I want to step into? How would I feel if it were already mine? Am I willing to live in that state, starting now? The choice is yours, because the simulation, it's just waiting for your command. Become the master coder of your reality. So now, you know the truth. You are not just a player in this simulation. You are the author, the director, and the lead actor of your life's unfolding drama. But let's take it a step further. You are also the coder, writing and rewriting the very lines of code that create your experience, while simultaneously living inside the game you've built. It's a mind-bending paradox. You are both the programmer and the avatar, and with that realization comes immense power, but also immense responsibility. Because every thought you think, every emotion you activate, every belief you reinforce, is a command to the system. The simulation listens, it responds, it reflects back to you exactly what you've coded into it, no exceptions. So the question is, are you ready to take full ownership of your power? Today, I challenge you to move from passive learning into bold, conscious action. Start by keeping a manifestation journal. Each day, write down your goals and dreams as if they are already real. The revisions you're practicing, how you're reshaping your past, the moments of stillness where you feel your deepest power. And here's the next step. Share your story. Whether it's with friends, on social media, or within a like-minded community, your experience matters. When you speak your truth, you inspire others to awaken to their own. Because here's the bigger vision. The more of us who wake up to this power, the faster we shift the entire frequency of the planet. Imagine a world where more and more people are no longer victims of circumstance, but conscious creators. A world where fear is replaced with trust, scarcity with abundance, division with deep connection. That world starts with you. No more waiting. No more excuses. Your simulation is responding right now. Live with intention. Create with precision. And never forget, every moment is an opportunity to rewrite the script. The simulation is yours to command. Let's raise the frequency together.